Hello. Alright, it's been a week, and I've been doing all sorts of interesting things, but nothing I can talk about right now, but it will be for later when things go kind of get resolved, so, but I will say, I think you can tell I've been working out, because, like, this shirt kind of makes me look decent. It's kind of tight right there, but I don't know. Whoa. See, if that moves. Anyway, so, okay, this video is going to be about one of my stories from like years and years ago. And how am I going to do this one? It's basically in 3 parts because I know you guys don't want to sit here and listen to 20 minutes of me rambling unless you want to watch my videos back to back. And I know you got other things about it. You know, got things to do in your life. So I'll keep it short and simple. And yeah, my hair is kind of being vertically challenged. It keeps wanting to lay flat. But moving on. Okay. Here's how this works. I'm going to do 3 different videos, maybe 4, depending on how much material I have, about my apartments I've had over the years, leading up to now, like before this. Because now it's not an apartment anymore. This is a little different now. But I'm going to keep this short and sweet and tell you about the one I had, my first apartment ever. And there's a few people out there who I don't have, of course, clearances, so I'm just going to have to throw it out there and see what happens. If people would please get back to me when I'm trying to do it, they would, oh, please put me in a video. And then by the time I go, don't mention my name. Okay, fine, I won't, but I have to assume no until then. So anyway, here's the thing. My hair is not, look how that's slant. I look like the Prudential sign. Anyway, see, that's just, anyway. Okay. Not even almost 2 minutes already. Okay, my old apartment. It was in Roaring Spring, and it was an interesting one. I was on the third floor. I was on, was it the 3rd floor I was on? Yeah, I was on the 3rd floor, and it was interesting because in that time, in a year's time, I stole a PennDOT barrel that I hid in my shower stall, and of course we were being inspected in a week. The building manager was coming around. And I was like, oops, so I had to get rid of a PennDOT barrel that I had in my refrigerator. In my shower that I had a friend of mine take with him, and he took it home, and he threw it over the mountain because it sat in my shower for like a week. You know, there's a shower with a PennDOT barrel behind you? Those things are bigger than you realize, especially in a shower. But yeah, I had like this PennDOT barrel, and of course we stole the little flashing sign. Well, I took it off and put it in my closet. Well, it's on a sensor, so it can like detect light to save the battery. Well, guess what? We're sitting there in my living room. It's night. Had lights turned out, and this flash would come out of the closet. It was kind of funny, really. But it was like before Lady Gaga came on. It was like this flash out of the closet. It's kind of cool. So that was that little situation. Then I decided one night, a couple friends of mine, the people that can't get back to me on this, we decided what we were going to do is play Strip Twister. But I was heavy, well, not heavy, but heavier than I am now. So what I did was we turned the lights out, and like we pulled the blinds down, but they were like mini blinds, so I could slit them open, and the moonlight would come through, and we're playing Strip Twister. Well, what's cool about it is I had a girl and 2 other guys playing Strip Twister. They knew I was gay. It wasn't no secret. But what's funny about it is we got a little comfortable because even though I actually somehow managed to not lose any clothing except for my pants and my socks and my shoes. I was down to my t-shirt and a pair of boxers rather, and they were kind of like in these compromised positions. It was kind of neat, actually. I got a kick out of that. So, that was that. That happened like 3 or 4 times, but of course, alcohol came into play and took the edge off. In fact, it made the 2 guys a little more comfortable. And if they watch this, they know who they are when I'm talking about. They got a little comfortable. So, but that was that one. And then, of course, we had a situation where the neighbor beside me, I don't know, I can't remember her name, but I will tell you this. I thought she was a prostitute because at night, all these guys would like traffic in and out, in and out. I'm like thinking, boy, this girl's getting, I mean, they are running right through her. I mean, it was like, wow, she's quite popular when the sun goes down. And I called my mom and be like, I don't know who this girl is, but my God, the guy's back and forth. I'm going to go there and mop the floor up from all them tracking their mud across the hallway. Well, it turns out she wasn't really doing what I thought she was doing. Apparently she was doing other things. But this one guy would come over, and they would just go at it like two drunk monkeys. I mean, they would get, like, just heaving and and just like, and I'm like, really? And I'm sitting there trying to watch TV, you know, what I could do. Like, they would just pound and pound and pound and pound. And they always were by the wall that had my swords on and had a love seat below it, which was probably dumb on my part, but whatever. But they're like pounding, and my sword would fall off. And if I was sitting, thank goodness it was me, I'm sitting there in my love seat, you know, talking to my company, and next thing you know, this melting comes crashing down on me. I'm like, seriously? So I had to like nail it back in with like plaster, like these big long like anchorage bolt things. So that was that little fun little stunt I had to worry about. And then the thing that happened, it was the most interesting, I will admit, was the most funny thing, I guess I should say. And I thought it was kind of cool in a way. And I went down to see a friend of mine named Missy, who she already cleared. She's the only person, and thank you very much, the only person who okayed me to say her name. For this set of stories, anyway. She had a fish tank that, like, with crickets in it. And I think they had a lizard they fed it. Fed the crickets. I think that's what they did. And there was an egg crates and stuff in it. Well, she was showing me, well, her and her boyfriend at the time, Brandon, was trying to show me, how to skateboard in their living room. Well, it wasn't so bad on carpet, but when you got to linoleum, whole different story. Well, I'm there trying to go back and forth, back and forth. I'm getting better, and I'm going back and forth, and everything's going real good, and all of a sudden I slipped, and I shot that skateboard through the living room, through the dining room, crashed into her fish tank, and all these crickets were kind of going everywhere. I was like, oh my God. But I was like, they're like, oh God, move out of the way. You're just move over. I'll just tell the part. Just what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you? Good Lord, you need to move or something. I'm almost done with the story.
Oh, so keep going.
But you're standing here.
No one can see me.
I don't want to bet. So anyway, I crashed into this fish tank, and make a long story short, the skateboard got stuck in it. I busted, like, the glass out of it, and I think I hit the floor, too. And I was like, oh, my God. So I had to, like, deal with that. And, of course, keep the door open. Don't worry, live in a barn. Anyway. That was fun. But anyway, so crashed into and, yeah, moving on. So, anyway, I'm going to move on to this. But here's the thing. Went to Olive Garden. Had a really weird experience there. The waiter, server, basically shot Randy's soup bowl like a cartoon across the table at us. Well, at him. He took 10 minutes to get our drinks. They weren't even that busy. We waited like 3 minutes to get a booth, to be truthful on that one. There was a short circuit somewhere. I don't know what he was dealing with, but it was like a little Kenny thing turning. It was like a Kenny story getting involved. But yeah, that was weird. And then of course he was red in the face. He did something we all four agreed there was something he was highly distracted about. So we don't know what that was all about. But my hair is just not working today. Like, seriously. But yeah, there's like 4 or 5 things. There was the soup. It took 10 minutes to get that. He was red in the face. Slid a soup bowl towards Randy. He rained down all our mints instead of putting the mints with. No, he rained with mints twice. He's like, "Oh, here's more." He just tossed them at us. And there was, what else did he do? There was something else he did. Oh, instead of giving us our bill, or our check rather, in that black folder thingy, he just happened to forget it, he said. I'm like, really? So I had to call and address the issue. But we're getting a gift card out of Olive Garden for it. I mean, I'm not trying to be a pain in the rear about it, but it was a little bit odd, but what are you gonna do? He might have been having a bad night, so I wasn't too hard on the idea, but this necklace is not coherently working. So, but anyway, getting back, like, about the fish tank incident, well, to me, it's been like 2.5, 3 hours since I talked about it, but for you guys, not even a couple minutes. But yeah, I crashed into the fish tank with that crickets like just right into it. I laughed. I howled. I howled and I howled and I howled. But living there for a year, I had some interesting things happen. In fact, one night it snowed, and Missy went to give a friend of ours named Bill the keys to fire up her car to move it so the plow could plow the parking lot and she could put her car back. Well, he apparently he forgot that the keys were left in it, and this car ran all night long. Like, it just sat there and ran all night. So, what are you gonna do? But we've had some interesting stuff going on. So, in a year's time living there, it was pretty interesting. But yeah, that was also the time that a couple friends of mine, we would do. It was fun, and in fact, the big thing for myself that was kind of self-inflicted was the egging thing we went and did. My mother, we went and got all these eggs and went egging. I'm not gonna say where, but we went egging. And I will say this: there was a write-up in the paper about it. And my mother went to borrow my Explorer, and we forgot to empty the egg cartons out of it. And the next day, my mom says, "You don't by chance know anything about this?" She goes, "Did you read a thing in the paper called Eggers Wreak Havoc?" And I went, "No," feigning innocence. But she brought to borrow my vehicle. She goes, "Isn't that ironic?" It was like 20, there were 24 dozen cardboard egg cartons in the back of my vehicle. I didn't take them out. She figured, she's like, "I knew it was you. I knew it was you. I couldn't believe." So yeah, I'm not perfect here. I got a few, yeah, I fractured a law or two in my life. But that was the year living in that apartment, so that was interesting. But between strip twister, PennDOT barrel, egging, crashing a cricket-stalked fish tank with a skateboard, a vehicle running all night long. What else had happened? I think it was the biggest ones. There was a couple weird things that happened, but that was, oh, and the neighbor having sex on the door, on my wall. Well, not on the other side, and banging on it as hard as she could. So, yeah, that was interesting. So, but that's pretty much all for this one. But that was his foot again. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Look, this is a foot. You gonna jerk away? Can I do it without like losing teeth?
Let's see where I'm using the teeth for Christmas.
I don't feel like going down that road. Anyhow, so peeps. Oh! Well, anyway,